can I use a beach? Medanga beach. Excuse me.
It's getting recorded.
What's the power supply?
Go live anytime.
Power supply from YouTube.
Oh man, this thing is not the right one. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Giribaradari Jaya Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Giribaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Deva Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Vasudeva Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Etangwa Haribo Etangora Haribo Om Vishnu Paramhamsa Privajikacharya Stotra Sutra Shishin Divangi Sabochin Bhaktaniswam Shiva Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Charles Divangi Shiva Prabhupada Ki Jai Gwandara Sri Nectar Devotion Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktavan Ki Jai Nitai Go Pramanande All glories to the Same devotees. All glories to the Same devotees. All glories to the Same devotees. All glories of the Shiguru and Shiguranga. All glories of Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to Bhakti Rasamrita Nectar Devotion, Chapter 26. Let us repeat the prayers to the six Goswamis. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajanam Nandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Offer my respectful obeisance to the six Goswamis, namely Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing internal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and engaged in the transcendental love service of Radha and Krishna. Shri Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai.
Yeah.
So we are completing this section, this wave, chapter 26. And just to recap, from chapters 20 to 25, we were discussing alambana, vibhava alambana, uh, aspects which stimulate ecstatic love for Krishna. And we covered when someone is in pure love, when they're in love with Krishna, in order to increase that, heighten that love, then different aspects and personalities are there that facilitate this enhancement, this heightening of love for Krishna. There are aspects which we already covered in from chapters 20 to 25. Krishna himself, different aspects of Krishna, his qualities, the devotees, they are all aspects which heighten and enhance one's ecstatic love, stimulates one's ecstatic love. And in this chapter, chapter 26, we're going to be covering another aspect which also stimulates ecstatic love, and they are called udipans. So from 20 to 25, we were discussing alambana aspects that increases one's love. And in this chapter, we're going to be covering udipan. These are objects related to Krishna or his devotees which stimulate ecstatic love. Now, Srila Prabhupada, covers many of these aspects, and we're going to cover. And no doubt, this is a very exalted subject matter, and this is way beyond my comprehension and realization. So we will read the verses and maybe share 1 or 2 points. But this, and especially this second half of Nectar devotion, we find that the Bhakti Shastri just covers the first half because it's more practical for us as sadhakas. And the second half is really, coming into the territory of Prema Bhakti and beyond. So it's beyond the realm of sadhakas to really appreciate its true content and even experience. But Srila Prabhupada, by his mercy, has given them to us so that we could read them and at least appreciate that there are these different aspects on our journey on this path of Prema Bhakti. So in today's chapter, we will be covering many of the udipans, and there are 4 categories of udipans, objects that stimulate love for Krishna. 1 is guna, the Lord's qualities. 2 is chesta, his adventures. 3 is prasadana, his embellishments and attire. And the 4th is prakurna, miscellaneous stimulants. And in the chapter, Srila Prabhupada takes each one and expands each one as Srila Rupa Goswami has expanded it in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So qualities, guna. Now we have already covered the different qualities of Krishna, 64 different qualities of Krishna. And here also there are 3 categories of Krishna's qualities. 1 is Krishna's bodily qualities, 2 his mental qualities, and 3 his vocal qualities. And Srila Prabhupada says, as far as Krishna's transcendental qualities are concerned, they can be divided into three groups: qualities pertaining to his transcendental body, qualities pertaining to his transcendental speech, and qualities pertaining to his transcendental mind. And in this chapter, you'll find so many aspects, so many amazing points in relation to Krishna. It's really all about Krishna and aspects related to Krishna that stimulates one's love for Krishna. In other traditions, if you had to speak about God and had to just ask them, can you describe God? They will barely be able to give you few qualities, personal traits. We're not talking about, to say, for example, God is omnipresent, God is omniscient. Those are generic qualities which are there for the Supreme Lord within this material creation. But uh, this chapter really covers very personally Krishna's personal qualities and traits, and these personal qualities and traits, they act as udipan for the different devotees of the Supreme Lord. Now, before we get into these different qualities, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada raises this question. We covered Vibhava Alamba, which refers to Krishna as the stimulus for ecstatic love. Krishna's body, mind, words are non-different from him. So why does Srila Rupa Goswami separately categorize them as Udipan? For example, we already talked about Krishna's qualities and Krishna's devotees that act as alambana, act as stimulants. So why now we're talking about Krishna's body, Krishna's mind, and Krishna's words, and these are now referred to as Udipan. And Prabhupada, in Nectar Devotion, answers this, and he says that there is no difference between Krishna and his body, and therefore the transcendental features pertaining to his body are the same as Krishna himself. But because these qualities stimulate the devotee's ecstatic love, they have been analyzed as separate causes of that love. In technical Sanskrit terms, such qualities as Krishna's name, fame, are accepted both as reservoirs of and as stimulants for love of Krishna. So here we find the aspect of Achintya Bheda Bheda philosophy that yes, Krishna is non-different from his name, his body, his mind, his words. Therefore, uh, in one sense, you could say it's a repetition. But the acharyas have said that because Krishna's these different aspects of Krishna stimulates love, then they still act as udipan. They still have uh, the same effect as udipan. So they have categorized them as separate, even though we know they non-different.
Udipan means awakening, right?
Udipan means
awakening, and alamba is support. Bhakti Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. So the awakening of the pure love.
alamba means support, and udipan means awakening, stimulants. Yeah, so they're stimulating, awakening and stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
So Krishna's bodily qualities, guna. The Krishna's bodily qualities are of four types: his age, his beauty, his ornaments, and his softness. Now you'll notice in the previous chapters, even though we discussed about Krishna and his qualities, and we did refer to some aspects of Krishna's age or Krishna's bodily youthfulness, etc., but it did not go into detail in terms of his age, his beauty, his ornaments, and softness in the depth that this chapter will go. Okay, so you'll find that there are some similarities. Now, in terms of age, Srila Rupa Goswami describes three distinct age periods in Krishna's pastimes: Komara, which is ages 1 to 5, Poganda, 6 to 10 years of age, and Keshor, 11 to 15 years of age. Different age different ages stimulate different relationships with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains his affectionate pastimes with his parents are exhibited in his Komara age. His friendship with the cowherd boys is exhibited during his Poganda period, and his friendship with the gopis is exhibited during the age of Keshor. Krishna's pastimes of Vrindavan are finished by the end of his 15th year, and then he's transferred to Mathura and Dwarka, where all other pastimes are performed. So there's after Keshor, 11 to 15, we'll cover that age. Nava Yovana, Krishna performs all his Mathura and Dwarka pastimes after that age, from the age of 16. In fact, from the age of 16, Krishna is eternally youthful. So he stays 16 years of age always. Now you'll notice these three different ages, they act as uh, stimulants, they act as udipan, especially for uh, the devotees at different or in different periods, different times. So we find that the parents, they are because Krishna, the Komaram age is very um, particular, very intimately related to the parents at that age, then they act as Udipan in that period. The friends during Poganda and the gopis during the Kishore period. Kishore is adolescence. Sri Rupa Goswami divides Kishore in three parts. Adya Kishore, which is early adolescence. Madhya Kishore, which is middle adolescence, mid adolescence, and Antya Kishore, late adolescence. So Adya Kishore is basically the age between 11 to 12. At this age, the luster of his body becomes so bright that it becomes an impetus for ecstatic love. Similarly, there are reddish borders around his eyes and a growth of soft hair around his body. So during this age, because Krishna, even though he is eternally youthful, when he appears in this world, he goes from ages, from the time he's born and from Komaram, and he progressively increases in age until he comes to Kishore. So as he progresses and he grows into these different age groups, different bodily symptoms begin to manifest. The perverted reflection is within the material world. As a child begins to grow from baby to boyhood to youth, then different bodily symptoms manifest as the child is growing. And just as in the material world, as a child is growing, for example, we find the pastime where Srila Prabhupada, when he went first to America and he went to Miss Agarwal's, Sally Agarwal's place, then she had a young son, and the child stood up first time. And when the child, there's a beautiful video clip of Srila Prabhupada in a picture, the child stood up and Prabhupada actually held the child's hand. And when the child stood up, Prabhupada had this huge smile and chuckle. He was chuckling because, for parents, this is joyful. The child is standing up. Some great, wonderful milestone. So, like that, different milestones. The child is crawling, the child is growing, the child is exhibiting certain symptoms, certain bodily features. It gives great joy to the parents. The first words, you can imagine for the parents, when the first words are uttered, it's like the heart begins to shatter with so much love. So if that's happening in the material world, try to understand this is also happening in its true original place in the spiritual world. As Krishna is growing up and exhibiting different symptoms, different bodily colors, different features, Krishna's crawling, Krishna's standing up, Krishna's developing some soft hair on his body, Krishna's colors of his body, his different tinges of different places changing. They all give great ecstatic love for the different devotees, especially his parents. Okay, a gopi named Kundalata describes Adya Kishore Krishna. Quote, "My dear friend, I have just seen an extraordinary beauty appearing in the person of Krishna. His blackish bodily hue appears just like the Indra Nila jewel. There are reddish signs on his eyes, and small soft hair are coming out of his body. The appearance of these symptoms has made him extraordinarily beautiful." And this is another feature that Krishna as a baby is extremely beautiful. And as he's growing in different ages, and these different symptoms or different signs begin to manifest, they just make Krishna even more beautiful. And we see the different devotees, like here, the Gopi Kundalata, when she's looking at these different symptoms, they're becoming more and more attached, more and more attracted to Krishna. And they become uh, talks, they become katha for the residents of Vrindavan. When Krishna is now, you can, at this age, as soon as the hair starts to appear, this becomes, Vrindavan wide news,
Talk of the town.
talk of the town. From from house to house, every gopi, everyone will want to communicate this. Did you see? Krishna's got soft hair, and just by them sharing this, they in ecstasy, pure love. Their heart just overflows with pure devotion, and this news travels from one place to another. So, like this, as Krishna is growing up transcendentally, then these different ecstatic symptoms and pastimes manifest. So we can see that it's not uh, it's not a stagnant type of experience with Krishna. It's very dynamic and very, very powerful.
Mayavadis miss out a lot.
Yes, the Mayavadis, they obviously have what to talk about, even these qualities. Uh, they have no opportunity to experience. Prabhupada in one lecture was saying that to be Krishna conscious really is very easy. Uh, you have to understand Krishna. But you cannot understand Krishna with his dull senses. The only way to understand Krishna is by coming in contact with Krishna with your senses, especially the tongue. And Prabhupada says simply by the tongue chanting the glories of Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, and eating Krishna prasad, one can understand Krishna. So the impersonalists, they try to avoid relishable foodstuffs. The devotees, they offer the foodstuffs and they honor that foodstuffs and they begin to understand Krishna. So the process of Krishna consciousness is very fulfilling to the soul, to the living entity. Now we come to Madhya Kishore, age 13 to 14. At this age, Krishna's body manifests in a more developed way. When Krishna attained 13 years of age, his two thighs were challenging the trunks of elephants. His rising chest was trying to come with, with peace talks with doors of jewels, and his two arms were minimizing the value of the balls found on doors. Who can describe the wonderful beauty of these features of Krishna? Sri Rupa Goswami describes the special beauty of Krishna's body was his mild smiling, his restless eyes, and his world enchanting songs. These are the special features of this age. Special pastimes characterize Madhya Kishore. At this age, Krishna enjoyed the Rasa Leela, exhibiting his power of joking with the coward girls and enjoying the company in bushes of the gardens at the bank of the Yamuna. So in this age, Madhya Kishore, we find Krishna's smiling is a powerful feature, facet of his age. His restless eyes and his world enchanting songs. We can just contemplate, when uh, people smile in this world, it has powerful energy, powerful. It emits a powerful force on the consciousness of individuals. If you frown and if you smile, it has a powerful effect. Consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the supermost wonderful, lovable personality in creation. If he has to smile, what type of impact, what type of influence will that have on those who love him? It's inconceivable. Theoretically, there is no way to really truly comprehend the impact of this. We know, we without doubt there is impact, but this is really what we can aspire for, to uh, desire that we are able to come into the arena of devotional service to Radha and Krishna, and one day have the opportunity that through our service, Krishna becomes so pleased by us rendering our service to Shrimati Radhavani so nicely that Krishna becomes so pleased that he will smile. And that smile will be the reward, the fruit that will completely fulfill one's inner heart. Then Krishna's enchanting songs. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. We have the words of Bhagavad Gita. Imagine Arjuna in front of Krishna, hearing Krishna sing Bhagavad Gita. It is inconceivable. That nectar, that sound, that enchanting song. And it's so enchanting that once it penetrates one's consciousness, it'll keep ringing non-stop in one's consciousness. So at this age, these are some of the features that really stimulate, enhances the relationship with the gopis. And Krishna in this age, his main pastimes are the rasa dance. Srila Goswami describes the special sights in Vrindavan caused by Krishna's Madhya Kishore pastimes with the gopis. He then describes the powerful effect of Krishna's mid-adolescent features of the minds of the gopis. Antya Kishora, Srila Rupa Goswami gives a similar analysis and description of Antya Kishore, which begins at the age of 15. Nava Yovana, which is after 15, after Antya Kishore, at the age of 16, the features of Krishna's body are Nava Yovana. He continuously manifests this age throughout the remainder of his pastime. Descriptions of Nava Yovana begin from the first paragraph of page 213. So the ages, Krishna's ages and their attraction. In Antya Kishore, Krishna's beautiful body luster, his reddish edges around his eyes, and soft new bodily hairs. In Madhya Kishore, mild smiling, restless eyes, well enchanting flute songs, and the Rasa Leela. And Antya Kishore, all the above qualities reach full maturity. So it's not that the different ages have their specific features and then they end. No, they increase by each age, and then they become fully blossomed, fully bloomed, fully manifest at the Antya Kishore age. And Krishna is able to manifest like these unlimited traits eternally. Krishna is the master of all energies. Krishna is master of all potencies. So therefore, Krishna can manifest whatever potencies and features he wants to reciprocate with the different devotees that are imbued with pure devotion for him. Now there are a little more details in terms of Krishna's beauty, ornaments, etc. So Krishna's beauty, after the age, beauty is the second category of Krishna's bodily qualities that stimulate ecstatic love. Udipan. Srila Rupa Goswami says Krishna was beautiful because every part of his body was perfectly arranged without any defect. You don't find that in the material world. People desire that. Even the most beautiful person in this world, she or he could have the most perfect features, but there'll be something about them, something about their beauty that would be disfigured, that would be, that they would say, I wish it was like this. Because in the material world, matter is not perfect like in the spiritual world. Matter is not perfect like in relation to Krishna's transcendental body. So Krishna's body is completely perfect without any tinge of discrepancy. Every feature, every part of Krishna's body is perfect. That is why Krishna is said to be the perfect supreme personality of Godhead. If you want to measure perfection, what is perfect eye, what is the perfect lips, what is the perfect fingers, what is the perfect feet, then and you have to compare them with Krishna. Now, it's true, in the material world we may have some glimpses of Krishna's features, which uh, different devotees, let's say for example, uh, were, were painting under Prabhupada's supervision. But to really have Krishna, be able to see Krishna as he is completely, that requires pure devotion, and that requires the maturity of uh, our devotion. It's interesting, in the Prabhupada would say about, in terms of Krishna's perfect body. So even some of Krishna, even the pictures of Krishna, even though they're painted by different devotees, they still have this aspect of beauty. Certain pictures really amplify that greater than others, depending on the level of the devotees' consciousness, Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada would say that unfortunately in India, there is incarnations on every street corner. So even though there are incarnations on every street corner, we can compare these incarnations with this point, that are their bodily features perfect? If they are Krishna, are their bodily features perfect? And no doubt, far from perfect. In fact, some of them may have to go to the dentist. Some of them will have to go to the barber and cut their hair. So there may be so many crude, material, uh, unwanted bodily qualities that these incarnations, bogus incarnations, have. Therefore, we can conclude they are not the supreme personality of Godhead. Ornaments. Krishna's ornaments are the third category of bodily qualities that stimulate ecstatic love. Srila Rupa Goswami describes this in an interesting way. The ornaments on the body of Krishna were not actually enhancing his beauty, but just the reverse. The ornaments were beautified by Krishna. So Krishna's bodily features are so brilliant, so beautiful, that when he is dressed with ornaments, the ornaments borrow Krishna's beauty and become beautiful. This is totally reversed, materially opposed in the material world. In the material world, people put ornaments to enhance their beauty. But in the spiritual world, Krishna puts on ornaments, and the ornaments are enhanced by Krishna's beauty. And when the devotees see Krishna's ornaments, because they borrowing Krishna's beauty, they are seeing that beauty, those beautiful ornaments in relation to Krishna and on Krishna, then these ornaments act as udipan. They enhance one's love. Srila Goswami also briefly describes Krishna's ornaments. There is an extensive description in the upcoming chapters, in the upcoming sections. In fact, all these different chapters we covered from 20 to 26, they're going to, each of these different chapters, in fact, all the subject that we have covered thus far, they basically will be repeated in different angles, in different perspective, in different ways. It's basically adding to different sections that we have covered. Softness. The softness of Krishna's body, mriduta, is the fourth category of qualities that stimulate ecstatic love for him. Sri Rupa Goswami describes a person is called mild when he cannot bear the touch of the most soft thing. It is described that every part of Krishna's body was so soft that even that even at the touch of newly grown leaves, the color of the touched part of his skin would change. So Krishna's bodily features and his body is extremely soft. It's like butter soft. It has this amazing feature of softness, tender softness. And that softness of Krishna's body, very beautiful, very subtle, very spiritual softness, this becomes Udipan. When the devotees just see Krishna's body, when they touch Krishna's body, that softness that they experience enhances and heightens their love. Now we come to Chesta, adventures. Sri Rupa Goswami has finished.
Mother Yasoda and them got worried about Krishna's feet, and that's why.
Madhuri Mataji is making a point that she's making a point that the residents of Vrindavan, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, in fact, in the Kishore age, Mother Yashoda would be concerned. Sorry, in the Komaram age, in the Kishore age, when the gopis are with Krishna, they would be concerned, and specifically, the scriptures describe that they contemplate on Krishna going to the forest, and when Krishna goes to the forest, they are worried, they're concerned about Krishna's feet, tender feet, soft, tender feet, getting hurt by all the stones, the pebbles, sharp objects that are there. And this really pains their heart. So that's the aspect of softness. Even we know in Vrindavan, when Mother Yashoda wanted to give Krishna the sandals and an umbrella, Krishna did not accept, and the cows and the calves, they went out and they smashed all the stones to dust in Vrindavan, because they could understand Krishna's soft, beautiful feet. And in service, they smashed all the stones to dust. So Chesta, adventures. Krishna performs adventures. And these adventures also act as Udipan. Srila Rupa Goswami has finished an extensive description of Krishna's guna qualities. Now he briefly mentions Krishna's chesta, adventure or endeavors, such as Rasa Leela and Dustavada, slaying the wicked. So these are two adventures that Krishna performs. His Rasa Leela during this age period, and Krishna killing demons. So for Krishna, these are adventures. These are stimulants. These are for the pleasure of his devotees. Krishna's endeavors are always bent towards arranging the rasa dance, as well as towards killing the demons in the forest of Vrindavan. These adventures stimulate the devotees' love for Krishna. You can consider, in the material world, children have heroes. And when, let's say, the hero is meant to go out and fight, or like in the movies, the hero wins, the hero and the heroine, when they overcome the enemies, then youngsters feel great joy. When the hero and the heroines are overpowered, then they feel great distress. So like that, in Vrindavan, Krishna, he's the hero, and the heroine Shrimati Radhavani. So when Krishna is performing all these different pastimes, and sometimes you'll find when Krishna is fighting, he will be fighting, and it seems like the demon has an upper hand, and this will cause great ecstatic suffering, ecstatic spiritual pain for the devotees. And then Krishna overcomes and wins, and this elates them in ecstasy. So like this, this is how adventure becomes an udipan for for the devotees in Vrindavan. Prasadana, attire. A third category of udipan is prasadana, attire. Krishna has three categories of attire: vasana, dress; akalpa, natural decoration; and Madana, jewelry and ornaments. So Vasana, dress. Sri Rupa Goswami describes Krishna's three types of dress. So we can see how, it's not like Krishna just has one type of, attire. No, Krishna has different types of attire. And then even within the different types, there are different divisions, and so much detail. And here we're just getting the categories. Can imagine the pure devotees, they relishing all the different variations of Krishna. When the different scriptures, Rasa Shastras are describing Krishna with these different attires and dress and decorations, ornaments, the devotees are actually living in the pastimes of Krishna. They're seeing this firsthand in their inner consciousness. So Srila Rupa Goswami describes Krishna's three types of dress. Yuga, two piece outfit of upper and lower garments. Then Chatushka, 4-piece outfit. And Bhuishta, elaborate festive outfit of many garments. So just like in the material world, we have 3-piece suit, we have this type of suit, we have this type of attire. So in the spiritual also, Krishna has different attires, spiritual attires. And Krishna decorates himself with his different attires. Srila Prabhupada summarizes by describing his 4-piece outfit. Generally, there are 4 kinds of garments on the body of Krishna: his shirt, his turban, belt, and wearing garments. In Vrindavan, he used to put on reddish garments with a golden shirt on his body and an orange colored turban on his head. So that is one of Krishna's attires in Vrindavan. Okay, and like that, Krishna has different attires. It's a festival for the heart. And because it's a festival for the heart, that festival is experienced through one's eyes, through one's ears, through one's senses. One basically drinks. Now, after we go through these different udipans, just consider when a devotee meets Krishna, it's not just one of the udipans that stimulates him. There's so many aspects that we're covering that stimulates. It's like coming from all corners. The arrows of pure devotion have been shot and stimulated. It's very, very ecstatic. Then akalpa, natural decorations. Krishna has 6 types of natural decorations. Keshabanda, hairstyle. So Krishna also has different types of hairstyles.
Sometimes the buns.
Yeah, different hairstyles. Then alepa, ointment smeared on his body, different types of ointments. Then mala, flower garlands. Chitra, face painting. Visheshaka, decorative tilak. And Keli Padma, toy lotus. Srila Prabhupada summarizes this list. A kalpa refers to a texture of Krishna's hair, his nicely dressed body ointment with sandalwood pulp, and decorated with flower garlands, his tilak, and his chewing pan. Keshabanda, hairstyle. Srila Rupa Goswami describes several subdivisions of hairstyles. Okay, so here are different divisions of hairstyles which Srila Prabhupada summarizes. Krishna's hair was sometimes decorated with flower placed on the middle of his head, or else it was reaching down on his back. So there's different hairstyles, and we could imagine in the spiritual world there's unlimited different hairstyles for Krishna. Mother Yashoda, she may, this is a meditation, how to, what style of hair I need to put for Krishna. So it's a eternal meditation, eternal contemplation. Then different ornaments, alepa, different, not ornaments, ointments. As for ointments on his body, the pulp of sandalwood generally appeared to be white, and when it was mixed with saffron dye, it appears to be yellow. So here also the signs of making different ointments, different colors, different textures. This is also a science, and the devotees of the Lord are aware of this science for the pleasure of Krishna. Then mala, garlands. Sri Rupa Goswami describes various types of garlands, the most prominent being Vaijayanti garland. This Vaijayanti garland is made of flowers of at least 5 different colors. Such a garland was always long enough to touch Krishna's knees or feet. So it's one of Krishna's favorite garlands. So when, and this is all coordinated, all these different facets and features of Krishna is also called coordinated by Vrindadevi, according to the different pastimes that will be taken place at the different seasons, in different place, different groves, at different times. Then Yoga Maya also arranges these different colors, these different facets that come for Krishna's service.
Sometimes he wears jasmine garland, sometimes lotus garland.
Yeah, Krishna wear different types of garlands at different times. Then Chitra face painting, artistic painting with sandalwood pulp and colored sandalwood were also to be found on the body of Krishna. So we see in this picture Krishna's got some painting. So like that, different painting on Krishna's body. All these aspects of Krishna's natural decoration evoke ecstatic love. So just by seeing Krishna's face, it evokes ecstatic love. Seeing Krishna's smile, it evokes ecstatic love. Krishna's features on his face, ecstatic love. Krishna's hair, ecstatic love. Krishna's turban, ecstatic love. How his turban is decorated, the flowers, the earrings on his ears, all this increases and evokes ecstatic love. Sri Rupa Goswami described an instance of this. One gopi addressed her friend and began to praise the bodily features of Krishna. She praised his blackish complexion, the reddish color of chewing pan and enhancing his beauty hundreds of times, the curling hair on his head, the kumkum red spots on his body, and the tilak on his forehead. Madana, jewelry and ornaments. Sri Rupa Goswami lists some of Krishna's jewelry and ornaments. Kirita, the crown, kundala, earrings, hara, necklace, chatushiki, another type of necklace, valaya, bracelet, anguliyaka, ring, keyura, amulets, and nupura, anklet. Srila Prabhupada summarizes, Krishna, the enemy of Aga, always looked beautiful with his incomparable helmet, his earrings made of diamonds, his necklace of pearls, his bangles, his embroidered garments, and the beautiful rings on his fingers. All these ornaments can stimulate devotees' ecstatic love. Vanamali. Vanamali means one who extensively decorates himself with flowers from the forest, flower crowns, flower bracelets, etc. So on one hand, we have Krishna, his jewelry, his ornaments are made of precious jewels, etc. And we have Vanmali, Krishna also is decorated with natural flowers, natural decoration. Krishna was dressed like this not only in Vrindavan, but also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Seeing such colorful dress and garlands of different flowers, some great sages prayed, Lord Krishna is going to the battlefield of Kurukshetra not to fight, but to grace all the devotees with his presence. Then miscellaneous. So Prabhupada and Srila Rupa Goswami ends this chapter by mentioning other aspects that stimulate, invokes ecstatic love, udipans. Items such as Krishna's flute. And we know there are different types of flutes that Krishna has for different purposes. Buffalo horn, footprints, Krishna's leg bells, conch shell, pastime places, Krishna's favorite plant. And what do you think is Krishna's favorite plant?
Tulasi.
Tulsi. So when one sees Tulsi plant, that also invokes devotion, invokes sentiments in devotees' hearts for Krishna. Krishna's devotees, which we also covered, and special days comprise, uh, and the special days comprise of the fourth category of Udipan. Special days are like
Ekadashi.
Ekadasi, Janmastami, different days. So even the festival days, they heighten one's love for Krishna. So we should not take these things lightly. Every aspect of Krishna, every facet of Krishna, his personality, the ornaments, things related to him, his holy dham, festivals, they all act and as service to Krishna by enhancing one's devotion and love to Krishna. The remainder of chapter 26, beginning with the section of Krishna's flute, lists each item and illustrates it poetically. So the last chapters basically covers these different fourth categories that we just mentioned. So in this way, this chapter is discussing all these different udipans, and these udipans, as one becomes more and more Krishna conscious, more and more absorbed in Krishna, then anything related to Krishna excites one. It's like in our experience in the material, or let's say in life of a sadhaka, uh, if we go to a festival, just let's say Lord Nityananda's appearance day is coming. So just by meditating on this festival day, the appearance of Lord Nityananda, it excites one. Hearing about the glories of Lord Nityananda, it really uh, it, it lightens the heart with mm, great satisfaction. Then you go to the temple, uh, if the altar, the temple's beautifully decorated, the devotees took great sacrifice. They spend hours meditating on how to decorate the temple, decorate the altar. Everything is arranged so nicely. The energy is surcharged. The consciousness of the devotees, they're all excited. This creates a wonderful impetus for practicing devotional service. It creates a great inspiration, enthusiasm to practice Krishna consciousness. So, in the spiritual world, the devotee is not practicing Krishna consciousness to become Krishna conscious. They already Krishna conscious, pure devotion. So these udipans, they act as additional stimulants to really increase and heighten their relationship, their meditation, their consciousness, their love for Krishna. So that brings us to the end of this chapter. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If anyone has any questions, you can type them in on the WhatsApp group. We'll give you 1 or 2 minutes if anybody has any questions on this chapter, even though this chapter is beyond my realization. But it's a wonderful chapter where we can see it's very personal, very beautiful. And for artists, chapters like this is a real festival for meditation, because now they can, when they're painting, they can really meditate on the different colors, on the different aspects of Krishna's bodily features, etc. And the Acharya's books obviously give more detail. Different devotees shared, when they seeing Krishna and experiencing Krishna, they obviously have written that down. So the devotees use that and paint using that, those different descriptions. All right, so we'll stop there. Next week we will continue. So the following week will not have class because Lord Nityananda's appearance day, but next week we will continue. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.